Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, and whatever gender you think you are today, my name is Jarrell Young, and welcome to my channel. This is the first uh, video that I'm doing. I've done other videos before. If my family happens to see this, I've done videos, regarding other things and all that. I also have a second channel. It's called Second Shot at Life. There's not a whole lot of videos, but Second Shot at Life is going to be more for my diabetic journey, journey through school, um, more of a personal level kind of thing. This, however, the one with my name on it, oh, it's game on. Oh, I've had a lot to say when it comes to comments and other things and everything else. Gone back and forth with a few people, and finally I just said, you know what? Because a lot of people nowadays, if you say something that they don't like, what they'll do is, I'm gonna look him up. I'm gonna see what he looks like, and I'm gonna judge this, and I'm gonna talk about him. I'm gonna talk about his head. I'm gonna talk about his face. I'm gonna talk about his lips. I'm gonna talk about his nose, his eyes. All this, the way he talk, and like, okay, go ahead, look around, take a good look. It's nothing spectacular up in here. But what's gonna be more important than the way I look, the way I talk, is gonna be what I'm saying, and can I back up what I'm saying? Oh, I assure you, there's a lot of topics that I plan to hit during this introduction. Oh, and you mark my words, as we go on this journey, I'm gonna have a lot to say about a lot of things, and a lot of things will not be said without me backing it up. So today, you're going to get a pass. It's going to be a free pass. I'm going to say a lot of things, and I'm not going to put anything in the description, any links, anything like that. This is just going to go off the cuff today. But you mark my words, the next time you see this face, the next time you see me, oh, you better believe I'm going to have a whole lot to back up what I'm saying. And if you don't like it, well, I mean, you could get mad at me, but the bigger question is, are you going to get mad at the people that are actually lying to you? People that actually want to hurt you? Actually, people that want to put you in the dirt, 6 feet under? That's going to be the big question. I put out a video not too long ago about, well, I guess I ought to get into at least this aspect, about this book right here. COVID-19, The Great Reset. Now, you see who that guy is right there? It's Klaus Schwab, okay? It's not Jarrell Young, okay? And even if I did write this book, most of y'all probably wouldn't come after me anyway, because I'd be a globalist. I'd be way above you, and yeah, you would just do what I say anyway. So, but because I'm not a globalist, because I'm not trying to force you to do things that naturally nobody has done since the beginning of human civilization, for some reason you're just going to go along with whatever they say. But we're going to get into this. Don't worry. There's plenty of time for this. So I'll give you a little introduction, because I need to warm up a little bit. It's been a little while since I've done this. I attend school. I have a full-time job. I'm gainfully employed. I live out here in Arizona, and it's been quite an adventure in Arizona. It's hot as hell most of the time in Arizona, in Phoenix, as I'm sure most of you may just take a guess at. But thankfully there is a winter time around these parts, so it's probably gets up to about 70, 40s, 50s, dips down to about 35 at its lowest. A little frost here and there, but this is the time of year that I enjoy. This heat, yeah. I don't think I'll be able to do this much longer. I've been here long enough. I like the Southwest. I used to live in New Mexico. moved from there out here, got better job opportunities and everything else. And the weather is a lot warmer, a lot more to do. And, the women, I don't think I need to say anything about that because I'm pretty sure you can guess. The women, yeah. Anyway, so that's just a little personal tidbit about me. But as we go forward, and like I said, you can either catch my other channel or this channel, I'm gonna talk about more personal stuff, more applicable things. Like if I'm mentioning something that's in this COVID-19 the Great Reset book, I'll apply some things to me. And I used to be a server, worked in restaurants, worked a little bit in the oil field, been around a little bit. So I got a little bit of experience. There's some things that are just way over my head. No comprende. I just don't understand some things. But, hopefully I'll get to learn some things, especially when it comes to technology. It's certain things, being able to record and all that. But some people, they just have this technology thing down. Instagram and whatever social media outlets there are. I don't see myself on all those outlets. However, if things happen to go viral, blow up, hey, we'll see what happens. To this day, to this moment, I think it would be a curse if I were to, get 50,000, 100,000, 200,000, 400,000, oh my God. I mean, in some ways it would be great, but in other ways, especially with the me movement. So, we'll see what happens. I'll just have to take it as it comes. And I know a lot of you people are going to say, well, I don't like what he says. I'm going to look him up. I'm going to give you a little head start. I got a record on me. But you know something? Everything that I did or did not do, everything that I was accused of or guilty of has been dealt with already. So it doesn't need to be judged by the court of public opinion. It has been dealt with already by judges, actual lawyers, not you. So your opinion, your questioning, it means nothing. I'm going to say that to you, and I'm looking you dead in the face. And I would look you dead in the face if you were standing in front of me and tell you the same exact thing. But what you need to be worried about is, how did I get past all that? How did I conquer that? How do I have a full-time job? How am I going to school? That's what you need to be concerned with. How do I have the mentality that I have? And how do I have the drive to keep on pushing in this weak, pathetic society, as it were? That's what you need to be more concerned with. So, I do need a little time to warm up. It takes me a little time to heat up. So, I'm just going to go over some things that have been in my head, been on my mind. And again, this is an intro. So, for anybody who gets offended by what I say or what I comment about, and we happen to go back and forth a little bit, and you want to see what I'm all about, here's a video just for you. And you can't ever say I didn't do anything for you. So I want you to listen. I want you to pay attention. So you sit down, hush your mouth, because class is in session. Let's start with Patrick Mahomes. The game between the Bills and the Chiefs, it was exciting. It got good at the end. It got very good at the end. And I also understand that with the Dolphins and who'd they play? Did they play the Giants? I heard that game got good at the end. But we'll talk about Mr. Patrick Mahomes. So everybody knows he flipped out and everything else, It was intense, and getting beat by the Packers and getting beat by, they've had a season that I'm pretty sure they did not expect. Are they still a threat? Oh, absolutely. If they don't make the playoffs, that's a whole other issue. But I'm pretty sure they're going to make the playoffs. So as long as they make the playoffs, they're a threat. Okay? That's just the way it is. He got upset over nothing. What I mean by nothing was that amazing play. It got thrown to Kelce, and then as a heads-up play, threw it to the receiver, which was a perfect lateral. Now, at first, it looked like a trick play. It did. Just in live motion, it looked like a trick play. But upon slow-mo of it, it almost looked like not Kelce, but the other receiver who received the pass from Kelce. It looked like he wasn't ready for it. Like, he was just like, oh, okay, well, he's getting tackled. I'm just going to, line up and, get ready for the no huddle. That's what it looked like to me. But here's the issue that I'm having. He got pissed off because of the call that brought that play back, which was offensive offsides. And they were hyping it up like, oh, that's never been called, and I can't believe this, and blah, 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 blah. Back in the day, about 120 pounds ago, I was a receiver. Played in high school, okay? Attempted to play in college the first time I went to college, and I was academically ineligible. That is another story for another day. But one thing they teach you at that level is, as a receiver, you cannot have your head, you cannot have the face mask, you can't have your hand, you can't have your feet beyond the line of scrimmage. Now, you can have your foot on the line of scrimmage, but other than that, you can't have anything past that. If you do, and the ball is snapped, the ref is immediately going to throw a flag. I mean, immediately. The second the ball is snapped, and it's going to be offensive offsides. And it's going to negate the play that happened after the ball was snapped. That's high school level. And from what I understand, I did see a meme that that it happened multiple times. Now, I don't know if it happened multiple times during the game or if it happened multiple times with that particular receiver. I'm not sure. I don't know. But regardless, that should be something that was taught a long time ago. So if Mahomes is going to be mad at anybody, he should be mad at the receiver. That's the responsibility of the receiver. When you are lined up and you get in your stance and you have a question about whether you're offsides or not, you're supposed to look immediately to your left or right or the nearest referee that's at the line of scrimmage, point at him and say, hey, or her, my goodness, him or her, hey, am I good? Am I on sides? And the ref is going to tell you, yes, you're on sides, you're good, you're clear, or no, you need to back up. That's what happens. Or that's what's supposed to happen. That's what the receiver should have did. So that's on the receiver. Now, is that play the only reason why they lost that game? No. I didn't look at the final stats and everything, but I'm pretty sure if I was to look at third down conversion, yards per carry, penalties, all those other kind of things, defensive turnovers, points off of turnovers, field goals, all those other elements. There's reasons why they lost that game, okay? It's not just one play. It never is one play, all right? Especially in a 60-minute game, it is not just one play why you lost that game, okay? Overtime, that's debatable. But during a 60-minute game, no. Not going to buy that. Now, we'll see how they bounce back. I don't know who they play against this coming week, but we'll see. It's been interesting football lately, It has. So, we'll see how that goes. Now, on to the good stuff. Did you know that gas prices have been going down? Yeah, that's something to celebrate, isn't it? It's been going down. It has. From $5 all the way to, I was out today, the lowest I seen was $2.89. Wow, congratulations. That's so great. That's so awesome. That's so spectacular. But it shouldn't have happened in the first place. Did you know that your president, remember the previous president, well, he ain't my president. Well, now he is. Now, your president, the first thing he did when he got in office, January 20th, 2021, the very first thing he did was kill the Keystone Pipeline. Why do you think gas went up so quick? Then he used our strategic reserve. It went down. And then when it went up, and then it went up again. And then it went down. And it went up. And it was just this roller coaster. And it was fascinating and very annoying just watching this roller coaster. Whether you want to believe it or not, in Arizona, gas prices hit $5 4 times. 4 different occasions. And heaven only knows how many days it was over $4. And then there was a time when it broke, all the way down to 3 something. Like, oh my goodness, finally. We're celebrating over $3. I'm like, wait a minute. Wait. Why is this happening in the first place? Because this fool that you voted for, more people than Obama, right? More of you voted for Biden than Obama? Yeah, okay, sure. The reason why is because he cut off our oil. For what? For what? Oh, well, we have to, Green New Deal and, Build Back Better and everything else. I have a question. When was the last time any of you, have said Build Back Better? When was the last time any of you have talked about Green New Deal? Where's your Green New Deal hats, your t-shirts, your bumper stickers? Where's Build Back Better, your bumper stickers, your t-shirts, your phone covers? Where's all that? Where's your blankets? Where's all that with Build Back Better or Green New Deal? Huh? Where? What about inflation? Well, inflation is going down. It is. But from what? And what was it in 2019? What were gas prices in 2019? Huh? You want to talk about that? No. No, you don't want to talk about that. Because no matter how low they have come since 6 months ago, it doesn't matter. It's still higher than it was in 2019. For example, inflation may go down, all these other things may go down, but I just want you to think about this. I'll give one example, and then I'll give a bigger example. A bigger example that most of us can understand. So, like, let's say at Denny's. You go to Denny's, right? Now, 2019, $20, get you a whole lot at Denny's, right? Now, the average plate is $20. Now, my thing was breakfast for Denny's. I get me a lumberjack slam or something like that, and like, hey, let me have a couple extra eggs and some extra hash browns. There was one time I went in there, never forget it. It was after work, and I work overnight, so I got off a little early. It was like 4:30 or 5 in the morning, and I went to Denny's. So ordered me some kind of slam. I think it was a lumberjack. Anyway, I just said, yeah, I'll take 2 extra eggs and some extra hash browns. The lady said, okay, it'll be $2.49 for the eggs. I'm thinking in my head, $2.49 for the 2 eggs. Okay, that's reasonable. I said, okay, that's fine. She said, no, it's $2.49 per egg. Remember when egg prices were outrageous? They still are, but remember when it was just through the roof? Some places were $8 for a carton of eggs. Remember that? And I said, oh, no, 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 no. I'll just take the hash browns. Please and thank you. Maybe things have cooled off. Let's say for the sake of argument, things have cooled off. Okay? Let's not get too deep into it. Things have cooled off in as far as inflation. Let's say. It's highly unlikely that if you were to order an extra egg, even to this day, at Denny's, it's probably still $2.49. It might be $2 in some places. It might be over $2.50 in other places. The point being, it's probably not going to decrease according to, like gas prices or, something like that. It's probably not going to happen. It's probably going to stay permanent. These breakfast dishes. I mean, I any place I go, like Cracker Barrel or Denny's, or I always get breakfast. I don't care what time of day it is. I get breakfast. I'm a breakfast guy. Those plates are probably still going to remain around $20 just for one plate. I mean, if you get the specials, they always have the specials, the original Grand Slam, and other things like that. You know what I'm talking about. But it's unlikely that the signature dishes, they're not going to decrease. So I'll give you a bigger example. There was a time where I smoked cigarettes, and cigarettes at the time were, for a carton of Newports, and I always got the 100s. Like, people say, well, they taste different. I don't give a shit about tasting different. If a carton of the, or a package, if a package of the regular Newports, regular size Newports, is $4.99, and the 100s are $4.99, I'm gonna get the 100s. I'm gonna get more cigarette. That was back when I used to smoke. So the last time I smoked was Newports were probably around $5, maybe less. Depending on if you went to a smoke shop or something like that. You could get them like $4 or something like that. But anyway, the average was about $4 or $5. Now they're at what? About 10, 11, maybe 12? Do you think you're ever gonna see $5 for $5 for a package of Newports? No. More likely you're never gonna see that again. What I'm getting at is, if prices go up, it's unlikely that they're gonna go back down. Now, in a grocery store or something like that, yeah, prices fluctuate. But even then, it takes a lot slower. But why was that in the first place? Why did these things go up in the first place? That's why. You remember that? Being locked down for 3 years? Being told, this is a pandemic of the unvaccinated. Being told, you're endangering people if you don't get it. Remember that? Well, if you're boosted and everything, you can eat a hot dog with your family. Or, well, we can't have people, no meetings or family occasions, no more than 10. However, how many videos are out there with your overlords going to parties without a mask? Remember Obama and his birthday celebration? Erykah Badu? Remember that? How many of the overlords were wearing a mask? The help was Nancy Pelosi, other people like that. All these people barking, don't wear a mask. You couldn't go get your hair done, but they could, right? And they attempted to justify it. Do you remember that? Do you remember there was something I was watching baseball highlights and like strikeouts, top strikeouts and an eephus pitch, if I said it correctly. I was just fascinated about it. I'm like, what the hell is an eephus pitch? So they showed different clips of different games and everything else. But then I saw a clip where it was during the pandemic that it was nobody there. And behind home plate, they had cardboard cutouts of people and piped in crowd noise. And that re-aggravated me. I said, wait a minute. These fools did do this to us. I just said, wait, what? These people got away with this? And then football games. Nobody there except the teams. Some cardboard cutouts in the stands and piped in crowd noise like the arena was full. And I'm watching and I'm just, even then I was just like, wait a minute, this, what? Boxing matches, mixed martial arts, soccer, whatever, football, so I don't offend anybody. God, all these things, and I'm thinking, wait a minute, for X amount of time these people told you couldn't go anywhere. They put cardboard cutouts of people to make it look real. Piped in crowd noise. I mean, NBA and WWE, the Thunderdome. And people just on all these video screens. Body slam happens. 5 or 6 or 7 seconds later, people are clapping. The heel starts talking. 5, 6, 7 seconds later, boo! And I was so frustrated. I'm thinking, wait a minute. How did we, as a globe, around the world, how did we allow that to happen? And it boggles me to this day. So what I'm going to do, and what I actually meant to do, I failed to do it, is one of my mainstays that's always going to be there no matter what, whether it's on my, I just stick with this channel. Anything that's on my channel with my name, I'm going to have the link to what's called Worldometers or Worldometer. It's worldometer.info. And what you'll see when you go to the website, you'll see different categories of things. You'll see births, deaths, barrels of oil produced, newspapers printed, articles printed. You'll see abortions. That's another topic I'm going to get into. Don't you worry. But I'm not going to get into it today. Okay? I may touch on it a little bit. Oh, by the way, it's about, what? I checked it yesterday or the day before. It was 42 million. 42 million abortions around the world. Right? But like I say, I'm not going to touch that topic. But you better believe in the description, I'm going to have that link. So if any of you have any problem with what I'm saying, and especially coronavirus, it has the numbers for coronavirus. If I'm not mistaken, it's about 700 million. 700 million, okay, got infected with coronavirus. About 10 million died, which means 690,000, or 690,000, 690 million survived. Where was the global emergency? The amount of people who got infected with COVID, it's about 700 million, okay? The population total is 8 billion, with a B, billion. That, if I'm not mistaken, rolls out to about 8% of the world. 8% of the world, including myself, got coronavirus. Where's the global emergency? If you subtract 100, if you subtract 8, it's like 8 point, I'll say 8.5 for the sake of argument. You take 8.5 and you subtract it from 100, that is 91.5. I have a question. Where's the global emergency? What emergency do you refer to? And of the amount of people that died from coronavirus is a very small number. What global crisis did you refer to? What are you speaking of? 6 feet apart. Where's the data on that? Wear 1 mask. Wear 2 masks. Wear 3 masks. I can't even take credit for what I'm about to say. Somebody else said it. Like, jeans don't stop a fart. If you wear a pair of jeans and you fart, somebody's gonna smell it, including you. So, what makes you think that a mask was gonna prevent anything from coming in like that, and even smaller particles? Where is the science? Where is the science? Where is the data? Where's all this that you're referring to? What do you speak of? Where is this data that supports what you're saying, what you did, what you implemented on people? You know what you fell victim to? You fell victim to peer pressure. Simple, teenage, grade school, middle school type peer pressure. That's exactly what you fell for. And I know all of you didn't fall for it, but if it applies to you, I'm talking to you. You fell for it and then had the audacity to get other people to fall for it. Like, why? Why do I want to take this? I'm a diabetic. I was waiting for somebody. I was waiting, and I'm still waiting, actually, for somebody to say, okay, what effect does it have on somebody with diabetes? Like if I was to take the dot. If I was to take the dot, what effect would it have on me as a diabetic, as a type 2? Do you know? No. Nobody knows. Well, it's this and that. See, we it's the science. Trust me, I've explained this before to other people and in other videos that I've made. Believe me, I'm going to bring all that back. I'm going to go through my videos. I'm going to write this down. I'm going to write that down. I'm going to write down the links. I'm going to write down everything that I got it from. There's going to be so many things that are going to be mainstays every single time. You want to talk about the science? I have a challenge for you. And you can stop the video any given time. Go to Google and type in definition of the science. Do you know what you're going to get? You're going to get the definition of science. You're not going to get the definition of the science. You're going to get the definition of science. So where did the science come from? Would you like me to tell you? It's your overlords. These overlords, people affiliated with this man, Klaus Schwab, the World Economic Forum, which is on YouTube. Look them up. Yuval Noah Harari, he's on YouTube. He talks about the end of humanity, talking about transhumanism, talking about all this other kind of stuff, how AI is going to dominate us. It's not me, it's them. But do you have the fortitude to go after them? Or are you going to go after me? Because if you go after me, it's fine. I'm accessible. I understand that. I'm accessible. I'm here. You could just type in something and say, what you're saying is bullshit. Nah, I don't care. This and that, and I'm going to do whatever. That's fine. But you need to understand that these people hate you. I want to save you. You know, I had to think about this. I thought about this for like a week. And I actually did this to a couple of people who, wanted to debate or, whatever. Instead of me walking around and just saying, go fuck yourself, which is the easy thing to do. It really is. It just rolls off the tongue. It's pretty easy. Instead, what I have come to the conclusion of is to say, educate yourself. Now, let me clarify. Let me be specific. Colon. We'll get to the colon part in a second. Don't you worry. It's not saying to somebody, educate yourself, is not a replacement for go fuck yourself. It's not me saying, or kill them with kindness. No, I'm not trying to do any of that. I'm legitimately telling you, you need to educate yourself. Because whether you know it or not, you are involved in this fight. I'm involved in this fight. You are paying the same amount in gas that I am. Especially if you live in Phoenix. You know what I'm talking about. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Or the Phoenix area. If you live in certain places in California. If you live in certain places where gas was just outrageous. $5, $6, $8, almost $10. You know what I'm talking about. They hate me just as much as they hate you, just as much as they hate me, just as much as they hate you. You're not going to sit at the table with these people. You're not. I hate to break that to you. You're so caught up in the Democratic Party. You're so caught up in the Republican Party. You are not going to sit at the table with these people. I did a presentation for my family. I'm not going to get too deep into it, but I mean to, as a family to start investing in all this. And I pulled up an article, and that I'm going to show that too. The next time you see me, I'm going to find it. Believe me, I'm going to find it. Where in regards to insider trading. And when you look, it's not just Republicans on there. It's not just Democrats on there. It's both of them. And I'm pretty sure some independents on there too, or whatever political party. The point being is they're all in it together. How many times have they gone on TV and told you, hey, gold is about to go up. You should go hit them up. Silver's about to go up. You should go hit them up. Bitcoin is about to do this. Whatever else is about to do that. Oh man, you should pull. I told you to invest in this, but yeah, you need to pull it because next week this is gonna happen. How many times have they got on TV and told you that? Huh? How many times? It starts with Z, ends with Rho. All right? They haven't told you that. But I can guarantee you, among their circles, they do it all the time. But what say you about that? You're worried about Biden. You're worried about Trump. It doesn't matter. The ultimate name of the game is people like this, Klaus Schwab. This is the ultimate game right here. This. And since I'm holding this up, let's get into the definition of that. That is a colon. We're not talking about the colon in anatomy. We're talking about a colon in writing. When you have time, look up the definition of colon in writing. Or in grammar. Whatever. I'm paraphrasing the definition. But what the colon means is, let me clarify. Let me be specific. Let me go in detail. Here's what I mean to say. Let me clear my throat. That's what that means. So when you see this, this book will be by me at all times. Every time I'm posting, every time I got my ugly face on this camera, you better believe I'm going to have this book nearby. So, armed with that knowledge, COVID-19, what I mean to say is, let me be specific, let me clarify the Great Reset. Right in front of your face. But But you're worried about Trump on trial. You're worried about Biden. You're worried about this. You're worried about that. Do you realize what just happened to you for 3 years with no scientific data? Where's all the data at? Where's the data about the effectiveness of the dot? Where's the data in regards to the amount of people that have died from the dot? What about the people that have been permanently injured by it? Where are they at? How come the media's not pushing that? The Mockingbird media. And didn't you see it recently when that BBC reporter, she held up a middle finger to the camera? She got caught and said, oh, live from London, this is Scribble Scrabble. You didn't see that? That is a small window into what the media really thinks about you, what they really think about me. But of course you're going to get mad at me because I don't vote the same way you do. I don't believe the same things that you do. Well, you know, it's this, it's immoral, and all this, and blah, blah. Crying about this, crying about that. Meanwhile, these people are trying to subjugate you and ultimately destroy you. Let's talk about climate change. And I'm going to show you a little something in this book. Let's talk about climate change. Well, climate change, it happens 4 times a year in most places, and it's called seasons, right? So with that out of the way, let's talk about the climate change that, you know, people like Al Gore and John Kerry and, you know, all these people they talk about and, you know, try to say, oh, by 2030, this is going to happen. By 2020, this is going to happen. By 2010, this is going to happen. By 2000, we're going to be under 8 feet of water. And I have a question. If the seas are boiling, if we're going to be underwater and everything else, why has nobody sold their beachfront property? Why hasn't places like Miami moved their hotels and everything else, you know, more inland, you know, like Orlando or something? You know, how come that hasn't happened? People on the Gulf Coast, Pacific Ocean, Atlantic Ocean. How come nobody's moved off their beachfront property and said, oh, no, fuck this shit. No. I ain't going to be underwater. Seas are boiling and this and that. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, I saw a picture of the beautiful mansion, or whatever you want to call it, of Jay-Z and Beyonce. They recently bought one. And it was an overhead shot. So you saw, of course, the mansion on beachfront property, and in the background, you saw the ocean, wherever it was. I haven't heard anything that they've moved because they fear climate change. Have you? If you have, please send it to me. I would love to see it. But to my knowledge, these athletes and all these other people and stockbrokers and the absurdly rich and famous, or people who, you know, got lucky and, you know, people retiring and, you know, everything else. I don't recall hearing a bunch of people selling their beachfront property to move inland. I just haven't heard that. Now, I recently took a biology class, and I escaped with my life on that one. Shoot. It was I passed with a 70.4. Woo! And that class was a challenge. That teacher, he said, hey, you better get ready. This stuff is like a fire hose. You better. This information, it's coming. I just said, whatever. And they came, and I nearly backed out of the class. I said, nah, I'm going to do this no matter what. And sure. Anyway, to an extent, to a certain level, understanding climate change and, the ecology, and, I don't have a full understanding, but at least getting a swipe at it on a microorganismal level, I can understand that. I could understand where you're coming from and how that's possible, how it could mess with the food chain and everything else. I could understand that. However, to the extent that you're talking about, to the extent that these globalists are talking about, to the extent where, let's talk Turkey. When all these globalists, when all these world leaders, when they go to these summits, what kind of vehicles do they drive? Suburbans, right? Black Suburbans. Or an equivalent, right? Do you think they're all electric? No, they're not. You think they're driving Teslas? Some might, but most of them are not. How much of a carbon footprint when all these private jets, every single one of these private jets, hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds, all meeting up to talk about nothing, to talk about how to subjugate you and me, to dominate you and me. Are they solar? Are they water powered? Do they have an electric battery and no gas? Are they even hybrids? Maybe you should go ask them, because they're the ones telling you about 15-minute cities. They're the ones telling you we need to track you. They're the ones that, like Tesla. It was a recall, 2 million vehicles. Now, one article I saw didn't really specify the reason, but they just said 2 million vehicles being recalled. And of course, in the comments, a lot of people are like, ha, this and that Tesla, all this talking shit and everything else. But on another article, I saw that the reason that they got recalled is because they had to revise or redo or whatever it's called, the tracking of the passengers in autopilot. Meaning, they had to revise their technology to track you. You can buy a Tesla. Hey, if you bought a Tesla, you go ahead. But see, what the problem is, what a bigger issue is, they're trying to roll this shit out and we don't have the resources for it. That's the problem that I have. I'm okay with the technology slowly being integrated. Because eventually, I don't know. Eventually, I think it would be a good idea. Eventually, it would be a good idea to, more, economy-friendly vehicles, devices, things like that. But see, here's the trade-off. The trade-off is what they're trying to do is take away your freedom. Meaning, they're talking about certain models of cars. If it doesn't have a chip or, certain makes or certain years of certain vehicles, if they don't have a chip in it, if they don't have a way they can track you down and see where you're going and this and that and everything else, then you can't drive it. They're talking about getting rid of gas stoves and all this stuff. For what? For what? But I can guarantee you, these politicians, they're not getting rid of shit. They're going to get rid of your shit. They're going to get rid of my shit. At least they're going to try to get rid of your shit and my shit. That's going to be up to you. Me? No. If I have to do, the iRobot thing like Will Smith, remember that? iRobot. Everything was, done by robots and everything else. Will Smith was that one guy who said, no, nothing beats the human element. And when all the shit went down, the robots turned on the humans. He went into to a garage and got the gas powered motorcycle. That's what it's really gonna have to start coming down to. Now, do you honestly think this technology and AI and these robots that they're trying to integrate, do you really think they're not going to turn on us? Do you really think so? Do you need to hold, please? I'm gonna pause this because I'm gonna do something. Hold, please. All right, here we go. Round 2. So, let's talk about artificial intelligence for a second. Oh, I'm sorry. I spoiled it. I was meant to say, let's talk about AI, which means artificial intelligence. So, having said that, let's look up the definition of artificial, shall we? Of artificial. Okay, here we go. Ooh, this looks interesting. All right, are you ready? Class is in session again. Artificial intelligence, right? Let's look up the word artificial and the definition. Here we go. Made or produced by human beings rather than occurring naturally, especially as a copy of something natural, of a person or their behavior, insincere or affected. That is the Google definition. It comes from Oxford Languages. If you want to look it up, pause it. If you think I'm bluffing, please feel free. Now, what I like to do, when I look up the definition of words, I like to look at the synonyms because it gives more context. You know, you can have a word, but if you have synonyms to go with it, then it's, okay. Because you're going to run across a word like, now I get it. So, here we go. The synonyms of the word artificial. Feigned, F-E-I-G-N-E-D, insincere, false, affected, mannered, unnatural, stilted, contrived, pretended, put on, exaggerated, actorly, overdone, overripe, forced, labored, strained, hollow, spurious, pretend, phony, fakey, hammy, ham, campy. Now, what I learned in school is if you have a word and you don't know the definition, what you do is you take out the word and then you put the definition. If you have a sentence, you get the definition of the word and then you plug it into the sentence. But what I like to do is also plug in a synonym instead of the actual word. So instead of artificial intelligence, let's go through the synonyms again. And let's replace the word artificial with all of these synonyms. Feigned intelligence, insincere intelligence, false intelligence, affected intelligence, mannered intelligence, unnatural intelligence, stilted intelligence, contrived intelligence, pretended intelligence, put on intelligence, exaggerated intelligence, actorly intelligence, overdone intelligence, overripe intelligence, forced intelligence, labored intelligence, strained intelligence, hollow intelligence, spurious intelligence, pretended intelligence, phony intelligence, fakey intelligence, hammy intelligence, ham intelligence, campy intelligence. That's what us as a society are going bananas over. And these globalists are laughing. They are looking at you like you're fucking stupid. When they pulled this shit with COVID-19, and I assure you, I'm not done with this. We're going to get into it. When they pulled that shit with COVID-19, they looked at you like you were fucking stupid. Do you honestly believe that these globalists, do you honestly think they do not look at human behavior? Do you think they don't have people that specialize in overall human behavior? They pretty much know how we're going to act, how we're going to react. Look at how we reacted to George Floyd. Look at how we reacted to that. But then, what was it? 2 weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, less than a month if I'm not mistaken, a Chinese dictator came to the U.S. and Gavin Newsom cleaned up San Francisco, that has been notorious for its uncleanliness. Cleaned up San Francisco just to accommodate a Chinese dictator and said it to your face. Well, a lot of people are saying that the reason why I cleaned it up is because of, other people coming in. And it's true, because it's true. He tripled down. He at least doubled down. But he tripled down on it. And it was on camera. Where were the American flags? None. Where were the Chinese flags? Posted on U.S. soil. It's not it wasn't a Chinese. Are you telling me that San Francisco is now a Chinese consulate? Based on the way these politicians act? Ooh. I almost said something. The way these politicians get on their knees for these foreign officials, I wouldn't be surprised. And if you think that's going to be the last time that's going to happen, you are dead wrong. You want to know why? Because not enough of us said, hey man, what the hell, bro? What's going on with you? What's wrong with you? How you going to placate to a foreign dictator or foreign anybody on that level? The only reason you cleaned up the city is because a communist dictator came in? Really? What do you think is going to happen in New York? What do you think is going to happen in Chicago? What do you think is going to happen in Washington, in Seattle? And Seattle used to be a gorgeous city. In some places, I'm sure it is. But overall, no. Come on, and we know that. I used to live there. I know what the hell I'm talking about. Well, I used to live in Tacoma. But I've been in Seattle plenty of times, so I know. All right? What do you think is going to happen? The same exact thing is going to happen. Oh, since we're doing a definition of colon in punctuation. Aha. Okay. Now, according to thesaurus.com, a colon is a punctuation mark that is used to divide a sentence. The colon represents two dots positioned vertically. The colon has a variety of uses, some of which include introducing a list, introducing an explanation, introducing a quote, and connecting two related sentences. I like that last part. This is new to me. The last time I looked up the definition of colon, I didn't see this. But I like this last one. Connecting two related sentences. This is connected to this. This is connected to this. This is connected to this. But Donald Trump, though, and all this and that and everything else, and he lied about Mar-a-Lago and the price of Mar-a-Lago, and he's going to be a dictator. Shut up. A dictator just came into the United States, and y'all didn't say a damn thing, and you know it, and you won't say anything. That's why Newsom doubled down on it. He said, yeah, it's true, because it's true. He said, yeah, bitch, because you a bitch. Yeah, you ain't gonna do shit, because you ain't gonna do shit. That's what he said. You, what you got to say, huh? Nothing. Y'all are worried about the wrong shit. You know, you really are. Anyway. Let's see. To wmich.edu. I'm assuming that's Western Michigan. What is the meaning of the colon and punctuation? A colon is used to give emphasis, present dialogue, introduce lists or text, and clarify composition titles. Let me see. What else can I glean out of here? I think that's about it. But you get the idea. So, let's go back to climate change for a second. Climate change, do, do, do. Climate change, so you say. Alright, so, I'm going to show you something in this book, right? Okay? And yeah, I put it to good use. I nearly burned this book. I nearly threw it in the trash. And that was just for the introduction. Because I was pissed. Man, I was pissed. And I'm still pissed. But I'm going to turn the page. See? It's the same book, right? In case you're thinking, oh, that's not in there. Okay. Buy the book. Let's read it together. Now, I'm going to show you this. And you can hit pause. And you can take a look at that. It might need time to zoom in and everything else and all that. So, hold on. My strong hand. So, climate change is dead center, right? Climate change is dead center. Now, there's all kind of things that are revolving around this little diagram, okay? A whole lot of things. But you see that in the corner? Where's my finger at? Where's my finger? Ah, there we go. Unmanageable inflation, which somehow leads to this, 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 which somehow leads to climate change. What does that say? Climate action failure. All this shit that's going on. They say the reason why all this is going on is because of climate action failure. Let me read some of these things to you. And if you have the balls to get this book, it doesn't cost much. I mean, I can guarantee there's a lot of things that you spend more money on. You should be spending on this. I recommend it. And I'm going to get the Communist Manifesto next. Oh, by the way, as a side note, I'm going to be reading through this book. And I'm going to read through the Communist Manifesto. I may not say much. I'm going to say a lot on this book. But I'm just going to say as little as possible. Because I want you to understand what is written. It's here. It's here. I got recommended this book. I just didn't go into the store and get this book. I was told, read this book. So I said, all right, I'm going to read it. Learned a lot. So, let's talk about it. Oh, here we go. Extreme weather, natural disasters, human-made environmental disasters, infectious diseases, food crises, biodiversity loss, failure of urban planning, water crises, critical infrastructure failure, information infrastructure breakdown, cyber attacks, data fraud or theft, adverse technological advances, financial failure, unemployment, asset bubbles, involuntary migration. Oh, you better believe that we're getting to that. Don't you worry. Social instability, deflation, fiscal crisis, national governance failure, interstate conflict, illicit trade, state collapse, terrorist attacks, energy price shock, unmanageable inflation. And they're tiny in this little, mostly globe that they got. They're super tiny. Weapons of mass destruction. They're still talking about that. Global governance failure. And right next to it is climate action failure. I'm sorry, what? Yeah. Why don't you whisper some sweet nothings into my ear, huh? Why don't you do that? You want to know why there's sweet nothings? Because you have nothing. These people are telling you how much they hate you and how much they want to destroy you, and you ain't going to do a damn thing about it. That's what they're saying. And that's what I'm saying to most of you. You ain't going to do shit about it. You'll get pissed at me because I'm telling you what's in this book. But I didn't write this book. See that? Klaus Schwab, Jarrell Young. Klaus Schwab, Jarrell Young. Klaus Schwab, Jarrell Young. But who you going to get mad at? Huh? Who you going to get mad at? You going to get mad at me? Of course you are. Let's talk about involuntary migration. Ooh, let's look up that definition. Ooh, that sounds like fun, doesn't it? Oh, ooh, this is gonna get good. Woo! All right. Involuntary. Now, we talked about involuntary migration. That's all of a sudden a problem now, right? Because remember when Biden said that before he was even elected president, surge the border, because that's what we are. We're Americans. That's what we do. The one time he said something coherent. Remember that? Involuntary. Done without will or conscious control. Done against someone's will. Compulsory. Ooh. Let's look at the synonyms. Oh man, these synonyms look tasty. Woo! Man, oh, you gonna love these. Compulsory. Obligatory, according to Biden. Mandatory. Forced. Coerced. Coercive. Compelled. Exacted. Imposed. Demanded. Required. Constrained. Ordained. Prescribed. Unwilling. Unconsenting. Against one's will. Against one's wishes. Reluctant. Grudging. Forced migration. Imposed migration. Unconsenting migration. Against one's will migration. Against one's wishes migration. All y'all in New York, what say you? Huh? You were a sanctuary city not too long ago. Now what? Chicago? Yeah, I'm talking to you. Sanctuary city. What happened? Huh? You voted for this. What was it? 80% or 90% of y'all voted Democrat, so you voted for this. New York, I'm pretty sure it's the same thing. Texas was the battle state. Texas was the battleground, and it still is. But now all of a sudden, oh, Arizona. Arizona's the new piece of ass on the street, huh? I'm like, oh my God, well, Arizona, you know, a station went down in Arizona. Hey, fool. Arizona's been a border state for quite a long time. And just now, the media wants to pick up on it? And what's Katie Hobbs gonna do? She ain't gonna do shit. She was hiding like Biden. And I say that, and I'm gonna be able to prove that. Because Kari Lake and Katie Hobbs, you may not know this. You'll probably never see this in the media. Katie Hobbs and Kari Lake, they were supposed to have a debate, right? It was a neutral site, and it was a moderator. I've never seen the guy. I don't know what the person's name is, but Kari Lake showed up, but Katie Hobbs didn't. So what happened? Kari Lake, I think it was like 30 minutes. You know, she went off for 30 minutes. I'm like, okay, well, since she ain't here, since she don't have the fortitude to show up, I'm gonna say what I need to say. That's the leader of Arizona. What's she gonna say about it? What's she gonna do about it? Well, it depends on what Biden does about it. Katie Hobbs is just as absent-minded and as obsolete as Joe Biden. And if you live here, you know what I'm talking about. New Mexico, same thing. New Mexico's a blue state now. I'm pretty sure. When I first lived there, I don't think they were a blue state. I believe they were red. Now all of a sudden they're blue. Arizona, same thing. Arizona's blue, or it might be purple. Regardless, at least we can carry and conceal, and that's another topic. You know, but let's see. Texas still a red state, but it's purple. One of the two. I don't know. But all of a sudden Arizona's the big issue now. People have been crossing for years, and now all of a sudden Arizona, yeah. No, not trying to hear that shit right now. How many people have crossed the border uncontested? And do you all think that they're Mexicans? Do you think every single person who has crossed that border is from Mexico? Do you really think so? Where'd they come from? Do you know? Of course you don't know. Nobody knows. Even the Border Patrol who are sitting there, by orders. I hope hopefully by orders. Hopefully not by choice. I mean, those are some tough orders to deal with, Being in a situation where, you gotta provide for your family, but you gotta take orders like that. I can't say what I would do. I can't say that. But I can say what I would say now, because all I have is me. And it's easier for me to walk away. It just is. So, But anyway, it's stuff like this that you don't care about. You obviously don't care about this. And I don't see why you don't. People are just walking across the border uncontested from all kinds of countries. From God knows wherever. Don't you watch movies? There's a movie called Salt. Angelina Jolie, all-star cast. I mean, it is a very, very, very good movie. I love that movie. The first time I saw it, I was like, yes, it was good. I didn't care. And she was almost like, I can't even say she was like a female James Bond. She wasn't. But, I mean, action movies like that, I mean, if you want to promote action movies like that with women like that, those are the movies you should be promoting. Movies like Salt, that should have been number one for a long time. Like, well, females don't get, good parts and this and that, and feminist movie. Okay, well, what about a movie like Salt? She kicked ass. And she wasn't just, I hate men and this and that. It's a good story, it's a good plot, everything else. Didn't they have to hear this feminist shit? I'm going to jump on that another day. I ain't in the mood for all that. But movies like Salt, Day X, Star Wars, Execute Order 66. You don't think they have a specific day like that? Wasn't 9/11 enough? You haven't figured that out? And then the people that came over from Afghanistan, do you remember that? The last plane that left Afghanistan, and the bungled way that Joe Biden got us out of Afghanistan, or at least for the most part anyway. I'm pretty sure there's still some Americans over there that forgotten about. But he left a bunch of cash and prizes over there, and weapons and artillery and everything else. But nevertheless, on that last plane, people were getting into the to the wheel well. I don't know if it's actually called that. I'm calling it the wheel well. Okay, people were getting into the wheel well. Like, come on. People who couldn't make it. I mean, falling from the airplane. Splat. That's how bad they wanted to get into America. But did you check them at the airport? Did you pat them down at the airport? Did you check if they were vaccinated at the airport? Did you do any of that? And I'm talking to you, government. I'm talking to TSA. I'm talking to all these organizations. But let my black ass walk up in the airport. You gonna pat me down? You gonna check this? You gonna eye scan me? You gonna do all this and all that and check my passport and yada 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 and all this and everything else? You're gonna check everything. And I live here, damn it. But these people walking across the border, all kind of diseases, all kind of everything else, all kind of intentions, all kind of everything, and you don't say shit. And that's a huge problem. And yeah, I'm talking to you. Not a damn thing is said, not a damn thing is done. And if you say something, then you're a racist. Oh, but then once they overrun your town, once they overrun your jobs, your place of employment, your grocery stores, your everything, then it's a problem, right? I have a suggestion. How about all you people who support these migrants? Why don't you have them live with you? How about that? Huh? Oh, and I'm also going to get into support about Ukraine and everything. Oh, woo, I hope you're ready for that. All of you who support these migrants coming in from wherever the hell they came from, why don't you have them live with you? Why don't you support them? Why don't you give them your money? Why don't you give them your daughters? Huh? Why not? Oh, somebody else's problem. Not here. That's what Eric Adams said, mayor out of New York. That stooge out there. He said, yeah, we sanctuary city and all that, but we didn't expect all of y'all to come out here. Well, what did you think? Oh, but because it was racist. Oh, to have a wall, to have a border. Bill Clinton, Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton. They per se did not say a wall, but they said a wall without saying a wall. They said some type of barrier or some type of something, or, we got to have some preventive measure at the border. But one man said, we're building a wall. That's it. We're done. Oh, that's racist. Now what? Huh? And that's the comfy blanket and pillow in the United States. And it's embarrassing. It's disappointing. That the only thing you can worry about is racist and this and that and this and that and everything else. All these people making money, all these milestones, all this everything, and you're still talking about race? Still? All of a sudden you hate white people? What the hell's wrong with you? If I don't like you, it's because you're stupid. If you don't like me, that's fine. At least let it be a reason. Let it be something that I did to you, or something I either did or did not do. It's fine. Our personalities may not clash, but don't do it because of my color. And since you want to talk about color so much, since you want to talk black and white and everything else, this is for black folks and white folks who all of a sudden want to say, white supremacy and all this. I have a few facts for you. Number one, the KKK created the Democrat Party. Okay? Let's just get that out of the way. That's a fact. So how much do you hate white people? Especially if you vote Democrat. Especially for you black folks who vote Democrat all the time. How much do you really hate white people? Because you vote for the party who created the KKK. I'm sorry. You vote for the party that was created by the KKK. So how much do you really hate white people? Huh? Number two. Who told you to go get that vaccine? Who told you to go get that dot? It was a white man. It was Fauci. Who told you this was a pandemic of the unvaccinated? That was a white man. It was Joe Biden. Who kept telling you every day, well, those of you who are unvaccinated, you're part of the problem and everything else? Who told you that? There's a lot of white people. There's some black people mixed in there. Oh, yeah. I don't care what's in it. I don't care. I'm going to take it. And blah, blah. Who told you if you get boosted, you get a free donut? You get a free burger and fries? Huh? There's a lot of white people, didn't they? Oh, but you don't want to talk about that. Oh, but not them white people. You want to protect them white people, but it's the other white people. Make it make sense. That's all. All right, just make it make sense. That's all. You can think whatever the hell you want to. You can believe whatever you want. I don't care. As long as it doesn't affect me. But the problem is what affects me when I go to the gas station, when I go to the grocery store, and things are outrageously priced. I just don't go out to eat anymore. I mean, I'll go out and get some chicken wings or some shit like that. But as far as, like a dinner or something, at least for now anyway, like, no, I'll just cook at home. Just buy some shit at the grocery store and, $60-$70, it'll last me a little bit, I mean, come on now. We're still talking about race? And it's 2023? Still? Black presidents and black vice president, black press secretary, Color Purple again coming out. Wow, can't wait for that to stir up racial hatred again, right before an election. This shit is so predictable. Like, are you that blind? Seriously? Are you that blind? I don't understand this. Please explain this to me. There are so many things that we should be worried about. Our country is crumbling. It is crumbling, slowly crumbling. And you don't have a damn thing to say about it. Nothing. I'm going to give you an example. On my YouTube profile picture, it shows the White House, right? You have an American flag on the left side. You have an American flag on the right side. And right in the middle is the transgender flag. I did that on purpose. And by the way, this happened this past June. Pride Month. And guess what's in the middle of Pride Month? Father's Day, Juneteenth. Oh, I'm going to talk about that too. And wouldn't you know it, Pride Month is longer than Black History Month. How many of you got something to say about that? Oh, but look on the bright side. Next year, instead of 28 days, it's going to be 29 days of Black History Month. Maybe we won't kill each other the entire month. Let's try that out. But still, even with 29 days, Pride Month is still longer and it gets more attention than Black History Month. What say you about that? Yeah, I'm talking to you. What do you have to say about that? You don't have anything to say about that. You were programmed to shut up and deal with it. You. So, let's go back. Let's go back to June. This past June. Joe Biden told the Transformer community, okay, all them letters, I'm not going for it. I'm calling you the Transformer community. That's it. That's what you're getting called, okay? Talking to all of y'all. The every single letter in that thing, I'm talking to all of y'all. Transformer. Told the Transformer community, we have your back. Well, what do you mean we? Who's we? You? Where's the we? You talking about a Nintendo Wii? You speaking French? Or what? This is what we? Now, I'm gonna clarify something before you get your panties or whatever the fuck you wear on your undergarments in a bunch. Okay? I have no problem with that particular community in the workplace. You want to get married? Especially in this day and age? You go right ahead. The divorce courts will be waiting for you. And it's going to be interesting to see, because if two women who are married, if they have a child and they decide to get divorced, I wonder who the custody is going to go to. That would be interesting. Anyway, I have no problem with that community. If I have to work side by side, work in the medical field, work at a restaurant, whatever, it's fine. We can laugh, joke, talk a little shit, tell a few lies. Hey, I'm good with it. You try to hit on me, you try to force me to support this or support that, we have a problem. And I'm gonna let you know. I'm gonna let your government name know. I'm gonna let your new name know. I'm gonna let that multicolored hair know. I'm gonna let all of you know. Period. It's fine. You want to get married, you want to go do this, you want to go do that, that's fine. But when you start coming after children, when you start putting this shit in the libraries, that's a problem. Now, if you want to put it in college libraries, we're adults in college, we can either take it or leave it. But when it's put into children's libraries, that is a problem. When you target children, that is a problem. If you want to go off the bridge, if you want to go down that road by yourself. Don't drag other children in there. Don't do all that. Why? For what? But see, I'm not gonna come back to it. I'm gonna speak on it while it's hot. I'm gonna give you an example of a different example of what I'm talking about, and I'm gonna dovetail it into this. So there was one time, and I'll never forget it, in the thick of the of another Middle Eastern war that we were involved in for some odd reason. There was a video of this Middle Eastern. Well, I take it back. It was a video of this Middle Eastern girl. Okay, she had pigtails, really cute, and she was like 2 years old, 2.5, maybe 3, just pretty little girl. And I'm assuming the father, he said, "What's that you're holding in your hand?" The little girl said, "A knife." And he said, "Well, what are you going to do with it?" And then she said, "I'm going to stab a Juliet Echo whiskey." And I was stunned by this. I just was like, wow. Now, we've all heard of situations where the troops were over there and they had to deal with children with BOMBS on their chest and other things and weapons in their hand and all that other kind of stuff. And it's just like, okay, well, what are you supposed to do? You know what I mean? Do you defend yourself? Do you try to rehabilitate the child? Do you let the child kill you? I mean, what do you do? That's a very blurry line. Now, let's take that situation and put it towards this. With the Transformer community, not all, there's enough that target children. And it's for the same purpose, because you want to indoctrinate these children, because their minds and their development is at its quote unquote prime stage, where it would take one hell of a therapist, one hell of a priest, one hell of a pastor to undo all that. And they know this. That's the problem that I have with the Transformer community. That is the problem I have. If you want to do it in your own personal life, you go right ahead and do it. But when you bring the children into it, that is a problem. And I have no idea why that's a debatable topic. I have no idea why this is even a debate. Also, men dressing up as women playing in women's sports. Why are we talking about this? This violates biology. This violates anatomy and physiology. It's very plain and very simple. It violates the endocrine system. That is science. But see, what you're doing is you're talking about the science, which doesn't even exist in the first place. You're talking about, well, I think, I feel, I this. You know what? What you think and what you feel, there's only one place in science where what you think or what you feel matters. Only one. Unless you're in therapy or unless you're in the hospital and they say, okay, well, 1 to 10, how do you feel? What's the pain level? You know, that I'm talking about like actual science in a science book. Just follow me. Is the scientific method, and it is the hypothesis. That's it. That is the only place in the scientific method that you can get away with what you think or what you feel, or you have a hunch, or, because this happened, then I think this is going to happen. But then you have to actually back up what you're saying, or what you're thinking, or what you're feeling. So there's only one place in the scientific method. That is the hypothesis. Then it gets into, all right, show me your data. Support what you're saying. Put it to a test. Let's experiment. And this is the problem with society. We're getting away with what we feel, what we think. And in a lot of circles, doesn't matter what you fucking think or what you fucking feel. It's can you produce? Can you show data? Can you provide? And then that's a whole nother issue in the scientific field. This COVID-19 exposed the medical field. It showed who really runs things when it comes to the medical field. That's what it showed. Talking about the Nuremberg Code and the hypocritical oath. And yeah, I said the hypocritical oath. I know it's Hippocratic, but it's turned into the hypocritical oath for a lot of people. Oh, and believe me, I'm going to talk about the Nuremberg Code too. That's next. That's probably going to be the next video. I'm going to do a little homework about the Nuremberg Code. I'm going to incorporate this. I'm going to incorporate this book. Oh, and it's game on. Oh, it's going to be game on. Oh, by the way, let me just pause for a second, and let me just let you dive into the type of books that I read. So, the Bible, COVID-19, the Great Reset, Free Agent Lifestyle by Coach Greg Adams. Very good book. Have another one, De-Evolution by Coach Greg Adams. And books like this, magazines like this, What Doctors Don't Tell You. So I thought this was a spoof. When I first read it, like What Doctors Don't Tell You, kind of like a funny spin on the medical field and, everything else. And I was like, okay, I'll read it, but it had so much information in here, it was ridiculous. I mean, a lot of information in here. If I am plugging anything, they don't sponsor me. They don't sponsor me at all. But if I was to plug anything, I would plug this, What Doctors Don't Tell You, and this. Not so this fool can make more money, it's to educate yourself. That's why I'm plugging this one. And that's why I'm plugging this. It's a free plug. They don't, like I say, they don't sponsor me, they don't support me, they probably don't even know I exist. But this book is amazing. And let's see, blah, 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 blah. Plus, new science reveals the true statistics on casualties of COVID vaccine side effects. Uh-oh, guess what I'm going to be reading when I talk about the Nuremberg Code? Oh, that. It's that book, that version, right there. This one, front page. My journey to regain my health after COVID vaccine side effects. Uh-oh, guess what? I'm going to be reading that from that too. It's game on. Oh, and to go back to the Transformer community, I've been watching TV lately. I got hospitalized recently because I had valley fever, of all things. And, yeah, I'm going to be on my way out of Arizona very soon. That's another topic. But anyway, So I got used to watching TV again. So watching sports and, all that. And I seen this commercial for ESPNW, which is fine on the surface. Women's sports and, everything. It's fine. But I think that particular network or that particular channel better get used to the Transformers coming in. It's about to be ESPN TW. You better be ready for that. You know how I know that? Leah Thomas, Riley Gaines. That's the most prominent example. A grown man who didn't cut off anything. No nips, no tucks, no nothing. Said, I identify as a female. Goes in there, whoosh, 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 breaks all these records. Nobody says anything. I mean, you'll say something behind closed doors, but it's like, oh, that's bullshit. What the fuck? How are we allowing this? But there's so many videos of it out there. That's just one example. Dude's going into mixed martial arts, beating the crap out of this female. Just okay. Volleyball. This dude with a wig spiked the ball, knocked this girl out. But who's saying what? Oh, and guess what? All this is going to be in time for the Paris 2024 Olympics. You know what my bet is? I'm betting 10. You will see 10 Transformers. And they will all of a sudden break all these records. And they'll be stunning and brave. I'll say no more than 13, but I'll say 10. I'll stick with 10, but no more than 13. That's my prediction. You heard it first. Because I'm not worried about what the media is saying and all this other stuff. I'm like, nah. But see, I don't think it's going to be in anything. When you make the Olympics, there's no such thing as an event that's not prominent, okay? However, we all know there's certain events that are out there that a lot of people pay attention to, okay? That is just the highlight, and it's track and field, okay? We know that. Let's not debate it. I'm not knocking anybody again for any other sport, power walking, soccer, basketball, anything like that. But that is the highlight, okay? Track and field, all right? What I'm saying is, I don't think there's going to be any Transformers in the main track events like the 100, the 200, the 400, the high hurdles, the 4x1, 4x2, 4x4. That's what I'm talking about. Those events, it's probably not going to happen. However, events like weightlifting, maybe judo, maybe, I don't know. And there's going to be some other events, but I'm willing to bet. I'm willing to bet weightlifting is where you're going to see the majority of the Transformers. And you're going to see a lot of records broken. That's my prediction. I hope it doesn't come to pass. I hope y'all can tell me I'm full of shit by the end of the Olympics. But we'll see. We'll just see. All I'm telling you is you better be ready. You're going to see ESPN TW, and it's going to be on ESPN 13. Not me who's allowing this. It's society. So, anyway, I thought I was going to have like 3 hours worth of shit to say, but I don't think I do. I pretty much covered a lot of bases. But yeah, this is just a video for people who disagree with something I'm saying, and then they're like, I'm going to look him up and see how many subscribers and how many videos, and I'm going to see what he looks like, and I'm going to comment on what he looks like, and blah, blah, blah. And go ahead, clip it. Go ahead. Do what you got to do. Do what you got to do. But make sure you put everything in context, because if you don't, I'm going to have the video. And everything, because I know how YouTube is, they got rid of one of my videos. Everything that I post, whether on this channel or Second Shot at Life, is going to be on Rumble. So if you can't find it, it's going to be Second Shot at Life on Rumble as well. So that's all that I have to say for now. It was good. I enjoyed this, an hour and a half. I thought I was going to be a lot longer, but there's going to be some heavy topics I'm going to get into. Medical field, sports. I won't be as quick as other content creators. I'm not even considering myself a content creator because I only got a little bit of content. But it's going to be a lot of topics, and I'm going to talk about my medical and diabetic journey. I'm going to talk about on my other channel. A little more personal, more calmed down, and everything else. But this channel, you better believe you're getting heat. Heat is coming, and I know it's gonna be some blowback. I'm pretty sure it is, but I'm still gonna keep on pushing forward. That is an advantage of mine. So, with that said, whether you like what I said, whether you don't like what I said, you take care of yourself. Stand up for your fucking freedom. The hell is wrong with you people? Stand up for your freedom. If something ain't acting right, if something ain't right, tell these people. It's fucking ridiculous. I mean, we argue over, the Republican, Democrat, everything else. I have a challenge. I have another challenge for you. And if you even want to involve me in it, I'd be happy to. I don't consider myself a Republican or a Democrat. I just care about my freedom. You fuck with my freedom, we're going to have a problem. Plain and simple. So, we'll take me, a Republican, Democrat, or we could do it race-wise. We could do it myself, Hispanic, white, Asian, whatever else in between. We can all go to the same grocery store, buy the same exact shit, or put the same exact shit in each of our carts, right? We go up to the register, and I'll say, can I get my black discount? And then you, if you're an Asian, you can say, I like to get my Asian discount. Or if you're Hispanic, you can say, can I have my Hispanic discount? Or if we do it the political way, you can say me. I don't care for either one, Republican or Democrat. A Republican, a Democrat, independent, whatever else, whatever's out there. We can all go to the same gas station. Go in and say, I'll take $20 on number 5, and I'd like to have my Republican discount, please. And another person can say, I like $20 on number 6. I like to have my Democrat discount. I like to have my independent discount. I like to have my freedom discount. You know what's going to be the common denominator between all of us? We're all going to pay the same thing. That is exactly what's happening right now. You're so bent on being a Republican. Well, I'll vote for a Republican no matter who. Well, I'll vote for a Democrat. I don't care who. What you don't realize, fool, is you, as a Republican, are paying the same amount as a Democrat. You, as a Democrat, are paying the same thing as a Republican. Neither of you get a discount. If Trump happens to get back in office, then is gas going to be cheaper for those who voted for him versus those who voted against him? Those who voted for Biden, is gas cheaper for you than it is for somebody who did not vote for Biden? If you think it is, let's go to the gas station together. Hit me up. We'll go to the same gas station, not a store discount, not a well, we got Circle K out here. So not a Circle K discount, not a Shell, not a QT, not any, no. Well, I'm a part of the QT club and, I want to get, no. You ask for your Democrat discount and I'll ask for my freedom discount. And we'll see who gets a discount. Get the same grade of gas and everything. If you want to do the grocery store experiment, hit me up. Let me know. I'll go with you. Yeah. And we can talk all day long. But at the end of the day, when you put the same amount of things in your cart and I put the same amount of things that you have in my cart and we go up to the register, we're gonna pay the same thing. That should wake you the fuck up. But of course, it's not. So, you go right ahead. Last but not least, I'm sure you've heard that tinfoil hat man, Mr. AJ, he's back on X. So you know what that means. You know exactly what that means. It is game on. A lot of people are gonna get exposed. You don't have to like him. I don't care if you do or you don't. But the one thing that I would hope, I would pray that you're willing to fight for and stand up for is the fact that you may not like the person, but you at least allow the person to speak. Then that's your opportunity to either support or deny what they're saying. You can either say, I looked this up, this is true or not true, or you can say, I don't give a fuck. I don't like the person. It doesn't matter what he says. I don't care if the sky is blue. I don't care if he says the sky is blue and I'm outside looking at a blue sky. I'm not going to believe him. You can do that. That is your freedom for now. But I would strongly recommend you fight for your freedom, because once we lose it, we're not going to get it back. How about you ask some of these countries that either were communist or, formerly communist or currently communist? Why don't you go ask somebody who lives there or used to live there? And they'll tell you. So it's up to you. It's up to us. And time's running out. We can't handle another pandemic. We can't. That's also something I wanted to mention too. So this is not an official scientific thing. I cannot support this. Okay, I talk about science and supporting data, and I cannot support this. This is something that has happened in my personal life. I'm going to share it with you. You can take it or leave it. When I would go on vacation, let's say for a week, I would think, okay, I'm going to be on vacation for a week. I'm going to spend some money. I'm going to have me a good time. So then it's going to take me about 2 weeks to recoup the money that I spent. And then 2 weeks to also, the same 2 weeks to also get back in the flow of work and, everything else and making money and all that. So if I take a week off from work, it's going to take me 2 weeks to recover from that week. That's just a theory that's in my head. I've kind of experimented with it. It's, happened, kind of correct. About a week and a half, 2 weeks to get used to get back to where I was before I was on vacation. Stamina, timing, everything else, right? So based on that theory, if it even is true, let's apply it to America at this point right now. We were locked down for 3 years, round about 3 years, right? If that theory even holds 2 drops of water, it's going to take us 6 years to recover the 3 years that we lost. Now, did everybody lose during that 3 years? No, I'm not saying that. Some people made a lot of money. Okay? Right, wrong, or otherwise, some people made some money. And some people, a lot more people, lost businesses. Things like that and everything else. Quick question. Did your president give you money back to bring your business back, to get that up and running again? Do you really think that at this current point in time, the climate of everything that's going on in society, the pace that things are going, Do you really think we have 6 years to recover from all this? Do you really think we have 6 years? Do you think we can hold out another 6 years? That would be assuming that inflation goes way down. That would mean that housing prices go way down. That would mean wages to an extent increase. Or at least if inflation is we'll say 10%. If inflation is 10%, wages, let's say 11%. 11% increase. I'm just throwing a number out there. Okay? It's wages have to keep up with inflation. Or at least at a minimum keep up with inflation. Or go a bit above. We could say 10.5, 10.2 or whatever. Just as long as you're keeping up with inflation or surpassing inflation. Do you really think with everything that's happening right now, we can afford 6 years? Do you really think we can recover these 3 years? Do you really think we have that much time? The answer is no, we don't. Because we're actively being destroyed at this moment. People are still talking about the 2020 election. And that's fine. You can talk about the 2020 election. I'm not worried about the 2020 election right now. I'm worried about everything that happened after January 20th, 2021. That's what I'm concerned with. When gas prices went up, when groceries went up, when we were locked down, when we were told that we couldn't do this, we couldn't do that, families were fighting each other, divorces, all this stuff. People would date or would not date if you were vaccinated or not vaccinated. Where's all the data for this? We got punked. We got hoodwinked. We got bamboozled again. For the melanated folks, this is the second time, at least, that we've been through the Tuskegee experiment. This is the second time. You didn't learn the first time? Question everything. Why is it that us dark-skinned folks, we will talk all this shit behind closed doors? Look, all these white folks and this and that and everything else, they hate us, they trying to kill us, but then when they put out a policy, they say, oh man, I love that shit. All they got to do is say reparations. That's all they got to do. All they got to do is say white people hate you and reparations. That's it. And you will go head over heels. They sprinkle in a little Martin Luther King. And by the way, I got a little something about Martin Luther King. I don't even believe it myself. I got to do some homework on it. I discovered something recently. Wow. And not in a good way. So everything regarding Martin Luther King is on pause at this moment. That's all I have to say. But the sprinkling of Martin Luther King, Al Sharpton to come out, Jesse Jackson to come from wherever he's at, Maxine Waters, Lil Kim. Remember Lil Kim, Juvenile? Did you know that they made that Lil Kim and a couple other rappers and Juvenile, they made some songs regarding the VAC, huh? The notorious VAC. You remember that? You don't even know that, do you? Juvenile said, "Vac that thing up." Like, what? And that's how these people treated us. We're like, oh, you remember Juvenile? Back that ass up. You remember that song, don't you? Let's put a little spin on it. Vac that thing up. Oh, they'll love it. Them black people will love it. And they'll eat it up because you're Juvenile. How many times we gonna be played for a sucker, huh? How many times? How many times you gonna get played for a fool, huh? How many? I'm just curious, But no, don't listen to me. Don't listen to shit I say. The next time a white man comes on the TV and tells you to go do something, yeah, you go do it. And then bitch about it later. Is that the idea? Right? Huh? Then, I just want you to remember that the KKK created the Democrat Party. And who did you vote for in 2020? I've had enough. I'm hungry. I got some chicken wings. I'm going to destroy those. I'm going to cook me some omelets. And, yeah, I'm going to enjoy my day. I play some video games, do something. But, yeah, I've had enough of talking. A minute 50 or an hour 55. That's pretty good. But, yeah, next time you see my face, woo, it's going to be game. No, I take that back. No. Well, next time you see me, I'm gonna have some mainstays. I'm gonna have some articles, some clips, and if you think I'm full of shit, you could just go down in the description, check it out for yourself, and figure it out from there. Because the only way you're gonna believe somebody is if they say it themselves, and most of the time you won't even believe it anyway. Gavin Newsom came to your face, said San Francisco was clean because of a Chinese dictator, and I stand by it. What the fuck you gonna do about it? And nothing. Treasonous. That's true treason right there, but he's Democrat. He's affiliated with Nancy Pelosi, so he's protected. He ain't going nowhere. And you know that. And you're going to protect him. You know that. So, anyway. Till the next time, buy gold, buy silver, be sober, be vigilant.